Breaking news. Tyreek Hill's social media antics are once again stirring up trouble in Miami, sparking another wave of trade rumors that have left Dolphins fans in a whirlwind of confusion and frustration. I'll tell you all about what's really going on in a moment. But first, make sure you've hit the like button if you're a true Dolphins fan and think Tyreek Hill should go. If you think he should stay, leave a comment below. Either way, write, "The Miami Dolphins need change." It all started when Hill responded to a Twitter prompt about potential trades on draft night with a smiley face and a cryptic 2, sparking speculation that the star wideout could be on his way out of South Florida. Then, just as quickly as the buzz grew, he responded to another report claiming he would be fine being traded to a playoff contender, calling it another false narrative. It's the kind of whiplash fans have come to expect from Hill's Twitter account, but it doesn't make it any less maddening. This isn't the first time trade rumors have swirled around Hill. After the Dolphins' disappointing Week 18 loss to the Jets, he lashed out emotionally, suggesting he wanted out. That fire has cooled until this latest outburst, reigniting doubts about his long-term future in Miami. Hill remains an elite talent, arguably one of the top 5 receivers in franchise history after just 3 seasons, but his off-field persona, particularly on social media, continues to test the patience of fans and analysts alike. Mike McDaniel tried to throw some water on the flames during the NFL owners' meetings, affirming that the Dolphins fully plan to move forward with Hill on the roster for the upcoming 2025 season. And financially, the team is locked into that plan. Trading Hill before June 1st would actually increase his cap hit due to contract structure. And even post-June 1st, while the cap savings are more manageable, the compensation they'd receive wouldn't justify the move. It simply doesn't make sense to trade him now if you're trying to win in 2025. And winning is still the goal. Despite missing Tua Tagovailoa for 6 games last season and having to rely on a quarterback carousel that included Tyler Huntley, Skylar Thompson, and Tim Boyle, Hill remained productive. He's not just fast, he's still separating at a high rate, ranking top 20 in separation metrics league-wide. But there's a reality that fans need to prepare for. This will almost certainly be Tyreek Hill's final season as a Miami Dolphin. That's not conjecture, it's math. Hill's contract includes a staggering $52.8 million cap hit in 2026, a figure that would be laughable for even the most elite wide receiver in his prime. Miami would save over $36 million by releasing him before June 1st next year, and that cap space will be vital as the team faces a tight financial future. Unless an unlikely extension materializes that dramatically reshapes the contract, Hill's time in aqua and orange is nearing its end. Which brings us to the future of the wide receiver room. Jalen Waddle is poised to become WR1 in 2026, but he can't do it alone. The Dolphins' depth behind Hill and Waddle isn't nearly good enough. River Cracraft and Cedric Wilson Jr. are no longer part of the picture, and the current depth options, like Eric Ezukanma, Tariq Black, and D-Wood Davis, haven't shown they can step up. Even 7th-rounder Taj Washington is still an unknown. So what's the plan? Miami has 10 picks in the upcoming NFL draft, and there's a growing belief that one of those selections, likely in the 3rd or 4th round, needs to be used on a wide receiver. The front office is already scouting prospects like Pat Bryant from Illinois, Isaiah Bond, Torrey Horton, Savon Williams, Nick Nash, Jalen Lane, and Keyshawn Boot. Each brings something unique: speed, route running, versatility, and could be groomed as the next big piece in a post-Hill offense.
This isn't about replacing Tyreek Hill in 2025. He's still a game-changer and a cornerstone of Miami's offense. But the clock is ticking. The Dolphins are about to enter a transition period, and the best franchises know how to stay one step ahead of the curve. If Chris Greer and company want to remain competitive beyond this season, it starts with planning for life after Tyreek. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Are you done with Tyreek Hill's drama, or do you still believe he's worth the headache for one more season of fireworks? Should the Dolphins take a wide receiver in the draft? And if so, who would you want to see wearing that aqua jersey? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is just getting started. Let's go a bit deeper into what this all means for the Dolphins' long-term trajectory and the broader implications of the Tyreek Hill saga, because this isn't just about one player. This is about how the Miami Dolphins are building, or potentially rebuilding, their offense around a core that may be reaching its breaking point. The Dolphins are staring down one of the most pivotal crossroads in recent franchise history. With Tyreek Hill likely gone after the 2025 season, and with Tua Tagovailoa entering a contract year, the front office is juggling win-now expectations with a looming roster reset. That reset begins with the wide receiver room, which is why the upcoming draft is so critical. Pat Bryant, for example, is a name that continues to come up. He's got size, solid hands, and good straight-line speed. He might not blow anyone away with elite athleticism, but he fits what Miami could use, a reliable route runner who can win on the outside and take pressure off Waddle. Then there's Isaiah Bond, whose college tape shows explosive potential, though his combined numbers didn't quite match the hype. Still, he profiles as a player who, with some refinement, could develop into a serious vertical threat, exactly the kind of player who could understudy under Tyreek Hill for a year and be ready to contribute in 2026. Jalen Lane might be the most intriguing name in this group. He's a burner, pure speed, and while raw in certain areas, he's got that game-breaking ability that can flip a field in an instant. That kind of explosiveness doesn't come around often, especially if Miami can grab him in the later rounds. But let's zoom out for a moment, because this isn't just about drafting the next Tyreek Hill. This is about sustaining offensive excellence in the face of financial realities. The Dolphins are expected to have limited cap space in 2026, and that $36 million in savings from moving on from Hill could be the difference between locking in a new contract for Tua or bringing in free agent reinforcements across the roster. That's why trading Tyreek Hill, even after June 1st, doesn't make a ton of sense unless the return is massive. A middle-round pick in 2026 won't help this team now, and the cap savings wouldn't be usable in this year's free agency period. If the Dolphins are truly going to contend in 2025, they need Hill on the roster, regardless of the noise. Still, the noise is real. The Twitter posts, the cryptic emojis, the quote tweets, and the denials, it's a circus that never seems to end. And while Mike McDaniel is doing his best to keep the locker room focused, there's no denying that Hill's off-field persona is wearing thin on some fans. He might call it trolling, but for a fan base that's starved for success and stability, it often feels more like a distraction. The real question is this: can Tyreek Hill go out on a high note in 2025? Can he put together one final elite season in a Dolphins uniform, help push Miami deeper into the playoffs, and leave the franchise in a better place than when he arrived? That's the challenge in front of him. Because if Hill wants to cement his legacy in Miami, now is the time to do it. And if you're the Dolphins front office, the mission is just as clear. Maximize this window. Get the most out of Hill, Waddle, Tua, and this offense. Draft smart, develop talent, and quietly prepare for what comes next, because the rebuild might not be far off, but it doesn't have to mean a step back. We've seen this team rise from irrelevance to playoff contention in just a few short years. Now comes the hard part: sustaining that success in the face of aging stars, contract crunches, and evolving locker room dynamics. It starts now with the 2025 season, and Tyreek Hill, whether he's trolling or not, will be at the center of it all. All right, Dolphins fans, it's your turn. How do you feel about Hill's role in 2025? Are you buying in for one last ride with the cheetah? Or are you already looking to the future and ready to see what Waddle can do as the new WR1? And what wide receiver do you want the Dolphins to target in the draft? Let me know your take in the comments. We're just getting started, and this offseason is already heating up in Miami.